Welcome back to House Renovations. And as always, here's Jasper. Episode 4. Hey guys, and welcome back to Chapter 2 House Renovations Episode 4. Now, sorry for the long hiatus in between videos. We've been dealing with torrential rain due to Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. Make sure you check on your loved ones in Florida. If you guys notice there's a difference in audio quality, well, Dad decided to splurge a little bit and get us some wireless mics. Now, the main bulk of our projects today are scraping the paint off of this window frame so we can get it ready to paint. And, Dad, if you don't mind grabbing the camera.
Yeah, I know. Get to be the gopher.
It's a nice change of pace for once, I'm telling you. And the big bulk of our work today is stripping off the siding and getting the pressboard that's underneath because we have more materials coming in tomorrow so that we can redo the wall. And we're going to side both sides and then paint them at the same time. But that's all I got for right now. I'm going to go start the fire. Spoiler alert, I wasn't able to start it. Well, I guess today I am indeed not the Lord of the Flame. What was that you just said, old man?
When you can't get it going, it's time to, when in doubt, call the old man out.
He is indeed Lord of the Flame. And to everyone's surprise, our foreman was on time.
Gotta make sure to let our foreman in for the day. Come on in, sir.
And now the old man got started on that window frame. I'll tell you what, watching the old man work, when he gets into that zone, it's absolutely mesmerizing. I could sit there and watch him for hours. Now, the reason why the old man's working on the window by himself is because if I did it, I'd definitely break something, and we don't have the funds to replace that window. So, what the old man is doing is taking a wire wheel attached to the drill and rubbing off the old paint. You don't want to paint over that because it's just going to crack and peel and just look horrible. Alright, so while the old man is pulling off, the remainder of the old caulk that was on the windows, it's already all sanded down and prepped for painting. Next step is getting over to that wall over there and starting to rip those shingles off. Alright guys, now it's my turn to have some fun. I get to rip these bad boys off the wall. Before I get into it, I'm going to pop me a sensu bean. So here, I had to save certain panels for Dad, just so that we can reuse them to patch, holes in the siding along the other sides of the house. But once he told me, all right, I don't need any more, I just let loose and let her rip. I had so much fun getting that siding and that panel board off. And it's right about here where the old man said, I don't need any more. And I just went nuts. I know you guys keep hearing me say pressboard, pressboard, pressboard. Well, let me show you what it is. Guys, pardon my slovenly appearance, but it's been getting hot because we got, the fire over there. And, it's getting warm today. But you guys hear me talk about pressboard all the time that's underneath this siding. This is what I'm talking about. This is fiber pressboard. This is what they use as a spacer in order to attach the siding. So if you look, it's stacked up like how we did those layers on the other side. More you know. And now for your educational segment from the old man. Take it away.
Today's lesson is, we all have physical limitations. All right, everybody wants to work with this. Okay, they think it lasts forever. It wears out. Okay, and then people want to use their mouth. They think that's the strongest muscle, but actually the strongest muscle is your brain. I always tell people, think the situation out, figure out situations that might come up, plan for the best, and be ready for the worst to happen. Always work smarter, not harder. Okay, and like I told these guys when they were younger, it's not this that lasts longer, it's this that lasts longer. And this, they can never take away your brain from you. If you let somebody do it, it's your own fault. So always think out your situations before you get into them. If you don't know the way to do it, find somebody who might be able to give you a hand. I got them.
Or as he calls, cheap labor.
Alright guys, all the press board is off and the shingling. Up next, the old man will be caulking this bad boy right here. Stay tuned.
While the old man was caulking the window, he threw a term at me that I was unfamiliar with called sweat equity. So I threw on the camera and asked him a few questions. Alright, so Dad just brought up a very interesting thing to me called sweat equity. What is that exactly?
Sweat equity is what we're doing right now. What we're doing is people pay for people to do these things, and how do I put it? Yes, they're improving their house, but they ain't putting their own time into it and saving money when it's little things, you can do. What sweat equity is you're putting in the time, but in the long run, what you're doing is improving the house for the value of the house in the long run. So when you do little things like this, like painting your house or cleaning the yard up, or doing landscaping, changing carpet or whatever it is, when you're improving the house, it puts value into the house, and your labor is free doing it because you own it.
Right.
So what we call it is sweat equity. I'm putting future money into my house doing my own work, or somebody's house as in your own.
Yeah.
And in the long run, it'll pay off if you sell it. The value of the house goes up because it's been renovated, it's been brought up to code, or it looks good, the yard ain't a mess and that. And the biggest reason I do this is not just because I own it, because of the person I love and my family. I want to make this a future for them, so they have something in the future worth value. If some hard time comes along, they can do something with it and not just be ripped down because it's old and not taken care of.
And you see, basically what the old man's trying to say, guys, is that, he's trying to build a future for his family. And I think that's all we ever should strive to do, you know what I mean?
Family's number one.
So how last video I said that Dad didn't bust a knuckle? Well, karma kind of bit me in the arse on that one.
Pardon the air compressor in the background, but the old man cursed me. Well, more so I cursed myself in the last video. Let's see here. 1 busted knuckle, 2 busted knuckle, 3 busted knuckle, and now's number 4 right here.
Here comes the first aid.
Alright, guys, and that wraps up Chapter 2, Episode 4. Today, we got the caulking done, as you see Dad finishing up and doing the, pretty touches on it. And we got all that panel board and that siding ripped off that sidewall. Tomorrow, we're getting the new material. I'll showcase that off when we get it. And we're going to be ripping into that wall, re-insulating, repaneling it, getting the Tyvek up, and hopefully siding tomorrow. So, see you and stay tuned. Later.